Good morning, everybody. I hope you're all having a great day so far. I wanted to talk today about what it feels like when I sense the spirits or ghosts or whatever you want to call it. So, if I'm entering someone's home or a place where there's spirits, a couple of things might happen. I might feel really heavy on my chest, like as if someone's sitting on my chest. That's if there's something right around me, I believe. Anyways, I feel like if there's something really close to me and it'll feel really heavy. Or if there's just something in the house but it's not really close to me, I might just feel uneasy or like my hair stands on end. And you know that feeling when the hair on the back of your neck stands up and all down your arms. That definitely is when almost like I can feel the energy, but I don't feel it right next to me. So when I took my son Ronan to Black Creek Pioneer Village and we were exploring on our own, that's what happened in a couple of the houses there, because there really is a lot happening there. But in the oldest house that's there, when you go upstairs, that's absolutely what it felt like. And even Ronan, and that was like 2 summers ago, so he would have been 10. Even he said, I feel like I can't breathe up here. Like it's just really heavy. And that's when I feel like there's something really close in that area. And even when you're walking down the street, or especially like where I am, like if I'm walking on one of the trails or something, and then get that uneasy feeling, it's almost as if there's something watching, but it's not right beside you, it's not right around you, it's just you can feel that something is wrong. It's almost like a evolutionary throwback or something to when we had to watch out for saber-toothed tigers or something looking at us. But I have felt that in other places. But when in my own house, when I have had an experience, it hasn't felt like that. I guess because the feeling of all the experiences that I've had in my own home, well, in this house anyways, have felt more positive, if I can say that, except for when I used to see the shadows, when I talked about the experience where my bed would start shaking, which I'm thinking is my start to astral projection, but I'm not 100% sure. And when that would happen and I would see the dark shadows years ago, that would make me feel sick to my stomach almost, because it was such a lower vibration. I feel that's what I've learned anyways. And I think that lower vibration would center more in my lower gut, so it would make me feel like I want to throw up. Whereas when it's a different kind of presence, or if it's something right around me, like in that case in Black Creek, it feels more on my chest. Like it's almost not suffocating, but just heavy breathing. And yes, there was stairs, but it wasn't just the heavy breathing from going up the stairs. It was after being upstairs, and especially there's 2 rooms upstairs, I believe. Can you imagine? They had how many kids did they have? Oh, they had at least 6 kids, and there was just 2 bedrooms, so they all had to fit in that 2 bedrooms. I don't know how they ever did that, but things were a lot different back then. You basically were inside to sleep or when it was cold, and the rest of the time you were out working. So maybe that's the difference. But I remember going into one of my friend's houses once, and it was different areas of the house had different feelings, which, I mean, that happens, right? You're in different areas and you feel different things. And my son tried to spend the night there once and didn't make it because he really felt uneasy, and he really, especially in his friend who's his age, in his bedroom, he felt very, very uneasy in there. And so they called me about midnight, and I went and picked him up because he said, I can't stay here anymore. And I don't blame him. He's listening to his intuition. He's listening to his body. And he was very uncomfortable there. So that's the same house where I did see an entity in the garage. And it was more like a flashback, like as if the spirit, what he used to do in the house, not that he was there right then, but he did reach out to me and send me his, like, as I was leaving the room, all I heard was Ralph, 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 like he was trying to get my attention to tell me his name. And when I went in from the garage into the house, like the downstairs sort of area, there's a bathroom right there, and I felt a strong presence, almost as if it wasn't him, but there was somebody else right there. And then you go down a couple steps and there's a basement. And in there, it felt heavy, really heavy in there. So the garage, it was almost as if it was like I was watching a projection of someone, but that he wasn't really there. But in the basement, that was definitely, there was something there. And my friend was also, had her hair pulled down there. Not hard, but just like as if somebody was touching her hair. Like, is this real? Is this really here? Not like a hard pull to hurt her. And then when we went upstairs, the living room felt fine. The kitchen felt fine. The other bedrooms, because they were giving us a tour, the other bedrooms felt fine. Just the one brother to the kids and son to the family, his bedroom, it felt, and that's the one where my son was staying. And when we were outside, the backyard felt fine, but the front, when I pulled in the driveway, I felt like there was eyes on me right away. Felt like I was being watched right away. And I was looking around. I didn't see anything, and nobody was looking out the window. So there's definitely, you can feel it. You can feel when there's something around you. And I think everybody can. I think it's just a matter of, do you pay attention to it? Because sometimes we feel something, or we think we feel something, but we shut it down and we say, oh, no, I couldn't have felt that. Or, no, it's just my mind. I'm just overreacting. I'm just this, I'm just that. But it's absolutely, you need to pay attention to those things, because your intuition will keep you safe in other ways too. When you encounter someone who is maybe not a very good person, not a spirit, but a person, and if your gut is telling you, get out of this situation because it doesn't feel right, you need to listen to it. It's even like dogs and cats. I mean, they know if somebody's not a good person, and they can sense it. My dog especially, she loves everybody, but the people that she's barked at, I always pay attention to that. Not barked, like when people come to the door, she barks in a very like happy way, like, oh my gosh, you're here, I'm so excited that you're here. And it's a very happy bark and a very playful bark. And it's just her way of greeting everybody. But when she has met or seen people that maybe come to, like, the neighbors or something like that, if she does not like them, her bark is very different. So she can sense that off people. And if, like, she loves everybody we've ever met. So when I hear her bark like that at somebody else, I take notice, because I know that she is picking up on something that I'm not picking up on. And even one time we were walking her, and this man was walking. He didn't have anybody with him. He was just walking on his own. And he had this really almost angry face. And he was just daggers for my dog. Just, maybe he didn't like dogs, I don't know. But he just kept giving this really bad look to especially my dog. And as we were walking by, she started growling. I have not heard her growl at anybody. I have heard her growl if she hears somebody coming up to the door and she doesn't know who it is yet. I've heard her, growl a little bit. But she was not enjoying this person. And I was not enjoying this person because of that. And I was really thrown off by the interaction that was happening without us even really realizing what was happening. Because she was not anywhere near him. And if I sense that somebody maybe is a little uneasy around dogs, I will always cross the street and walk past them. I won't walk, well, especially right now, I cross the street for everybody just because you're not supposed to be so close to everybody. But this was before. And so, of course, as soon as I saw him coming, I moved out of the way so that we didn't have to cross paths. But even as he crossed paths, he had this really intense stare on her, and it was uncomfortable. And I don't know if, well, no, I do think that she was picking up on his energy and she was not happy about it. So who knows what that was all about. But I do believe pets know if there's something going on with somebody who's not a very good person, they'll let you know. And it's almost the same thing with, well, it's not almost the same thing. It is the same thing with your intuition. If you listen to it, it'll tell you if something doesn't feel right. Listen to it because it knows. And our bodies and minds, and it's had thousands of years of evolution and survival. So inside of us, we have the traits that kept us alive when we were roaming the earth, when we didn't have homes, when we had to live under the stars and to hunt for our food and all of those things. We have that in us still. It's just a matter of, are we honoring that? Are we listening to that? Are we following those instincts? Because they will definitely keep you safe. And I mean that in the sense of, in the, I don't want to say real world, but in the actual, this plane and the spirit world. When you feel like something's not right, when you're somewhere where there's spirits, get yourself out of there. Because it's one thing to be scared. It's another thing to be under a threat from something. I don't know if spirits can hurt you. I don't know. I've kind of always felt like they can't, but maybe if you are getting to the point where you are so scared from it, you could get hurt just because of your mind. It's almost as if it gets you into a position of your fear makes you dangerous. It's almost like when you're doing your job and you're in a hurry and you make mistakes. And the more you try to hurry and the more you try to correct those mistakes, it's almost as if you keep making more mistakes. So if you just would calm down and look at it again and take it easy, then things would go smoother. So it's the same way with the spirits. If you are in a heightened sense, they're going to be drawn to that. They're going to find that is irresistible, and they're going to be around you more. So if you can calm yourself and keep yourself at a lower, not a low energy, but lower energy, so that your energy is not through the roof, it'll help protect you when you're in areas where there are spirits. So hopefully, if you're into looking into spirits and you ever come across something, you can keep that in mind and keep your energy so that it's not going through the roof. It'll help you maintain your composure through it all. Anyways, I hope you all have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. Take care.